ODD TV.
American Gods is a show on Starz Network based on a book by Neil Gaiman of the same name. Neil Gaiman has other books that have been turned into movies and TV shows, including Stardust and Coraline for the movies, and an upcoming show called Good Omens that starts in May of this year. The show American Gods, which is on its second season, is completely flooded with mythological and religious characters and references to the point where there's really no need to break it all down. Just watch it for yourself if you want to. However, I want to point out some of the things about the show's intro, which is also heavily littered with mythological, spiritual, and religious symbology, but with a modern technological twist. So let's briefly run through this entire opening sequence, and then we'll talk more about it afterward. As the intro begins, we catch a glimpse of the World Tree, aka the Tree of Life, followed by the head of Medusa, but fiber optic cables take the place of the snakes. Now we see a trio of cycloptic nymphs with the eyes of a camera phone. Next, we're shown a menorah on a backdrop of religious symbols: the Christian cross, the Muslim star and crescent, the Taoist yin and yang, and the Jewish Star of David, which is esoterically the Star of Remphan. Fun fact, the star was mentioned and condemned by God in Amos 5:26, and it was called by him the Star of your God, Moloch, or otherwise called Chion. Reference to Amos 5:26 and the Israelites having it in the wilderness was also made in Acts 7:43. Here it was called the Star of Remphan. All these names refer to the god Saturn. This hexagram is widely used in the practice of witchcraft. Back to the menorah, every single branch of it is an electrical connector of some sort. Next up is the Madonna, the mother of Jesus. She's covered with a veil that has silicon computer chip-like threads woven throughout the fabric. The light source for her halo transforms into the moon for the star and crescent. The star appears to be an ecstasy pill. Next, we see even more drugs falling around a laughing Buddha who appears to be high on pharmaceuticals. Perhaps Xanax or a 30 milligram Percocet would cause a smile that big. Next up is a jet turbine that switches into some kind of medical lab technology, spinning around the base of Ganesh, who's sitting on a lotus flower. This is followed by an Egyptian pyramid with a brightly lit capstone. Sitting in front of it is what appears to be a sphinx, but is actually a robot dog that looks similar to a Sony Aibo. Next is a cowboy made of neon lights with a prosthetic leg. Next up, a robot with the head of a sex doll set in a satellite dish. This is reference to Big Dog, created by Boston Dynamics, which is being used by the military. Next we have Azrael, the Angel of Death, sporting some modern artillery and 2 sets of night vision goggles. In one description of Azrael, he has 4 faces and 4,000 wings, and his whole body consists of eyes and tongues. Next up is Ares, the god of war, wearing a VR headset and toting a crossbow with a missile on it, in place of the arrow. He's riding a chariot pulled by American muscle cars instead of horses. After that, we have a rocket, which is the modern-day obelisk, Egyptian phallic symbol. This is followed by an astronaut nailed to a cross, symbolizing the worship of scientism, which is currently the world's most popular religion. And finally, at the top of this mind control totem pole is the Roman eagle, Aquila, also known as the Roman standard. This eagle is a common everyday symbol, especially in America, and its presence represents the fact that the Roman Empire never fell. It just went into the shadows and clandestinely acquired more and more power until it ended up in control of everything that we know of today. The show's intro, with the eagle being at the top of the totem pole, alludes to the domination by the Romans of all things. Throughout the opening, we see all the religious mind control techniques of the past mixed with the technological mind control techniques of today. Currently, the Holy Roman Empire rules the world through the Crown of England and the 3 city-states: London for finance, the Vatican for religion, and Washington, D.C., or the District of Columbia, for military. Most countries are controlled by the hidden Roman Empire because their leaders are loyal to it, or they've been bought off by its banksters and agents. Furthermore, most courts throughout the world operate under Roman law, aka civil law, canon law, maritime admiralty law, statute law, and commercial law. The United States of America, which is nothing more than a corporation and you're an employee, and United Kingdom are 2 of the many countries controlled by the Holy Roman Empire. On the back of the US dollar, we find the Roman eagle with the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This advertises their plan to slowly create a one-world rule out of the heavily fractured and divided system that we find ourselves in currently. Similar to the phrase ordo ab chao, which is Latin for order out of chaos. Besides US courthouses being completely Roman in the way they are designed, they also have the Roman eagles sitting on top of the flags in the courtrooms. Same thing with the flags that you see when the president is addressing the nation. The Statue of Liberty is a Roman goddess named Libertas, which was adopted by the Babylonian goddess Ishtar. Everything in America is Roman at heart. From how we have a Senate, a House of Representatives, stock market, huge sports events, even public parks and libraries. In my home state of Colorado, which means the color red, we have a very noticeable fasces on our state seal, which is a Roman symbol of power and jurisdiction. Along with that, we have an all-seeing eye. Being that this is the only state seal in the US to have such blatant symbolism like that, I have a hunch that Colorado is the New World Order headquarters for North America. Check out my video called Colorado Conspiracy, New World Order Headquarters, USA, for more info on that idea. Do you remember the speech that JFK gave about secret societies?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
Well, the embodiment of what he was referring to is the Holy Roman Empire, the Jesuits, and black nobility, with black nobility being the most powerful. The black nobility is a network of extremely powerful families that date back as far as ancient Egypt or even earlier. They use any tactic necessary, including murder, fraud, genocide, terrorism, etc., to protect their wealth and keep the common man under financial slavery. As the centuries passed and the 1700s came around, the black nobility set up strategic alliances with the Illuminati and the Freemasons. It was an unholy trinity that would use the Earth's population at their disposal to protect their interests. The black nobility were students of the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who believed that slavery was a necessary institution. Because some are born to rule and others to be ruled. The idea that certain families were born to rule as an arbitrary elite, while the vast majority of any given population is condemned to oppression or slavery, became the theological position of this elite. The black nobility became so powerful that even the Roman Catholic Church, which ruled much of Europe, became fearful of them, with several botched attempts to conquer them. The irony of the matter is that when the papacy's iron rule came to an end in 1870, it was the black nobility who were there to act as the comrades of the Pope in helping to negotiate the terms of the Vatican's future existence under Benito Mussolini. You might be wondering where the Jews fit into all this. Well, in 1832, the Vatican needed a loan because of declining finances, and the Rothschild family provided it. They also gave them another loan in the 1850s, so the Vatican is indebted to the Rothschilds. Not to mention that the Jesuits were founded by a crypto-Jew named Ignatius Loyola. This is why they are sometimes referred to as the Jesuits. And these facts may be why the Jews have so much power when it comes to military, corporations, politics, banking, Hollywood, and other media. Maybe they would have it regardless, I'm not sure. The Illuminati order was preceded in the 1500s in Spain by the Alumbrados, a Christian heresy started by crypto-Jews called Marranos. The founder of the Jesuit order, Ignatius of Loyola, was a Marrano, Alumbrado. Thus, when people today argue whether it is the Jesuits or the Zionists who are responsible for our troubles, they are really talking about the same beast. One thing I know for sure is that if someone is keeping humanity down, no matter who it is or which group they belong to, they deserve to be called out. Zionists, Frankists, Khazars, the British Crown, the Vatican, the Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Black Pope, the black nobility, etc. If they are all doing it, then there's no use in trying to argue which one is worse. But there's no denying that all roads lead to Rome. This has been ODD TV. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in to ODD TV. Please be sure to like and share this video. It really helps. Also, don't forget to subscribe.
Load the weapons program, we need the big guns to war with. We fighting for our future, our freedom, and some more shit. They call it hell, it's mental prison like the cell. And that black car just drove by 2 times, those are agents. Don't let them get David. See if your gun speaks first and your gun's right. Your life here don't amount to nothing. They got computers growing you.